Let's now go to the story of a legacy that lives on 3 years later.
Earlier today, nature lovers gathered at the historic Karura Forest to mark the 3rd anniversary of the passing of Professor Wangari Maathai.
The late Nobel laureate is remembered as a passionate fighter for the environment and for peace. Sharon Momanyi looks back on her life from the eyes of those charged with carrying on her legacy.
A mood of celebration rather than sadness is one that filled the air at the memorial ceremony today. Family, friends, leaders and environmentalists sharing the late Wangari Maathai's green vision gathered at the Wangari Maathai corner in Karura Forest today, marking the 3rd anniversary of her demise. And what better way to commemorate her than to plant a tree?
Here is this woman who was a trailblazer and a mentor for me in so many ways.
Wangari Maathai is a name living beyond her death.
We are going to shed blood because of our land. We will. We are used to that. Our forefathers shed blood for our land. We will do so.
With that blood and tears, she fought to conserve the environment. Her most notable battles were halting the construction of a 60-story complex in Uhuru Park and protecting parts of the Karura Forest from being grabbed by private developers.
When he was fighting them, he came along with some seedlings to plant in this area. And those are some of the trees you are seeing, big ones you are seeing there. Those are the trees which were planted on that day, and he was assisted by the community of Oroma.
The struggle is still on, although it is not as complicated as it used to be before, because now the laws are in place. Even though there are people who even currently who are not ready to follow the right procedure, I think it takes time for people to change from the old way of doing things to adopt a new way of doing things.
In her honor, the Kenya Forest Service and the Green Belt Movement put up the Wangari Maathai Memorial at the very place she saved from land grabbers in Karura Forest.
Just the way Wangari was respected before she passed on, that respect is still there. And we find it easy because all we need to do is just to carry her legacy.
In 2004, Professor Wangari was awarded a Nobel Peace Prize for her contribution to sustainable development, democracy and peace. The Green Belt Movement, a tree planting movement formed by Maathai in 1977, is still advancing her vision of a sustainable environment which would create a source of living for communities.
Of course, there have been a few changes, like redefining our focus, but ensuring that we do not move from her legacy. Just redefining and ensuring that, we are expanding, and our objective of conserving the environment is actually doing that in this day-to-day.
Whenever we have an activity in the forest, we have to engage them instead of going far to bring people come and do that work, like the ones you have seen they are working. Whenever we have a casual labor like tree planting or weeding or maintenance of what we have planted, we have to engage the casuals from the community.
Professor Maathai died of complications arising from ovarian cancer while receiving treatment at a Nairobi hospital on 25th of September 2011 at the age of 71. The vision that the late Professor Wangari Maathai had was one of a sustainable environment, one which benefited the livelihoods of communities. 3 years after her demise, and joint efforts by environment stakeholders are ensuring that her legacy remains unbowed. Sharon Momanyi for KTN in Karura Forest, Nairobi.